Sir Crocodile was an honest and hard-working businessman who believed in structure, order, and long-term planning. He founded Baroque Works, a legitimate organization that provided jobs to hundreds of Alabastan residents. Unlike reckless pirates, Crocodile believed violence should always be a last resort. Alabasta was ruled by King Cobra, a tyrant who tortured their people for fun. He used the country's resources for himself, peeped into women's bath, and ensalved innocent civilians. The country was suffering from a drought, poverty, and corruption. That's when Crocodile stepped in to help shoulder responsibility. He personally took on the role of a national hero, protecting citizens from criminals, cleaning up crime, and keeping the peace. The people loved him. King Cobra did not like this. He decided to hire the Straw Hat Pirates to chase Crocodile away. Everything was going according to Crocodile's plan, until Monkey D. Luffy showed up. An unemployed teenager pirate with no education, no manners, and a long history of property damage. Luffy showed up, broke into a restaurant, ate their food, and refused to pay for it. Crocodile noticed this and sent his younger brother Smoker to solve the dispute. Luffy disrespectfully spat on Smoker's face, stole more food, and started running away. Luffy then managed to escape Smoker with ease and caught up with the rest of his crew. The Straw Hats needed a way to infiltrate Alabasta. They kidnapped the Princess of Alabasta, Nefertari Vivi, and held her hostage. They would tease her, make her cry, and even did the unthinkable. They offered her up to an old man in his 80s. She had enough and fought back. The evil Luffy looked her dead in the eye and rocked the living shit out of her. Poor Vivi endured it for the sake of her country. Crocodile noticed all this and called for an emergency meeting with the Baroque Works. They came up with a plan to de-escalate the situation, but Luffy was no talker. The Straw Hats broke into their building looking for Crocodile, but Crocodile tricked them and managed to cage the Straw Hats. Miss All Sunday, a Baroque Works agent, rescued Princess Vivi as well. She was safe now, but the Straw Hats showed no regrets. Despite being caged, they were mocking Crocodile. Crocodile stepped outside to check on the people, only to find out the damage caused by Straw Hats was too much. So many people injured and dead. Crocodile decided then and there that he will end the Straw Hats. He rushed back only to find that they'd broken out and kidnapped Vivi again. This enraged Crocodile. He managed to track them as they were running away and tried to retrieve Vivi, but Luffy caught Vivi, threw her back to his crew and decided to face Crocodile himself. Luffy did all he could, but he was no match for Crocodile. Crocodile quickly defeated Luffy and even gave him a proper burial. Every soul deserves a resting place, he said, a mercy most villains wouldn't show. But Luffy crawled out of his grave and came back. Luffy and his crew then incited riots, endangered civilians, and even encouraged a full-scale rebellion that put thousands of innocent lives at risk. Crocodile's goal was simple: safety of the Alabasta residents. Crocodile had enough and showed up himself. Vivi-sama, Daijobu desyo, I'm here now, he said. The final showdown began, Luffy versus Crocodile. But this time was different. Luffy was infinitely stronger. He could beat Crocodile with ease. Crocodile was stunned. They fought long and hard until Luffy used a cheap trick which severely injured Crocodile. But Crocodile wasn't finished. As long as he was breathing, he swore to save Alabasta. He used all his life force and managed to take down Luffy, at least he thought. Finally he said, I've saved Alabasta, and that's when Luffy showed up again. This time Crocodile couldn't do much. He had already taken too much damage. In the end, Crocodile was brutally beaten to death and defeated. King Cobra and the Straw Hats had won. Alabasta continued to suffer, jobs were lost, and the infrastructure collapsed. And Luffy? He sailed away in peace, causing havoc around the world. Once again the world rewarded the pirates and evil. So tell me, was Crocodile really the villain, or was he just a responsible man in a world run by pirates?